Hi guys, just turned into March, and I'm just wanting to touch base and update on my New Year's resolution for 2017, which was to read one book a week. So kept up to pace in January, and then hoped to continue that in Feb. But I'm going to say because it was only a 4 week month, I've um, I've slightly, but very slightly, fell behind. And if I finish off some of the books I've already started reading, then I can also get back up to scratch. But I don't want to just pretend to be where I'm not. So in reality, two of the books that I started in Jan, I went on to finish in Feb, and one of them was the Art of War by Sun Tzu. If I said that okay. It's a book written on strategy, and I think it's the kind of book, because it is only a short 100 pages, that you would ideally read again and again and pick up different things as you go along. So from that, I can see some of it's relevant to me in business and how some of it's relevant in just day to day life, and I think that's a really worthwhile book. So I enjoyed that, and like I say, I will be rereading it as I go along. I also finished off another short book, so you could say I'm cheating here. Again, only 100 pages. A book called Who Moved My Cheese, and it is a book about change. How, whether I suppose it's taking the relevance of it into your own life, but about accepting sometimes that you need to change, and then when you're going for change, how it's not always a bad thing. Quite often, it's actually a good thing. So sometimes when you need to have a change, if it's not working for you right now, then look into where you can change and how that can actually enhance things rather than looking at it as a negative. So that's really good. Just really easy to read and just kind of touch base on a few things. I then finally, and only finished it yesterday, that's why I suppose I'm a little bit late getting this out, as it is a second, I read 7 Years in Tibet, which actually took me most of the month. As much as I was enjoying it, actually, it tells the story of an Austrian guy who, during the Second World War, was in a what are they called? Kind of prisoner of war camp. Prisoner of war camp, not a concentration camp, as I was trying to think of. So he's in a prisoner of war camp in India, and his ambition was to get across to Tibet. He finally got there, and it's a lot to do with his travel getting there and the difficulty within that, and then also his life as one of the very, very first foreigners to actually be in and live and stay in Tibet. So really, really fascinating insight into an actual closed-off kingdom that he actually ended up living in. So that was quite a fascinating book, actually. And he actually ended up corresponding with the Dalai Lama, which I believe is the current Dalai Lama that we know today, who's in exile from China, because finishing the book in the 1950s, that young Dalai Lama was expelled from the country. So if I've got my facts right there. But yeah, really, really good book, and something that just was fascinating because it's not something you'd pick up or read every day, and it's an insight into a lost or an unknown world to us humans. So again, my flaky synopsis, which they often are, because I seem to read, and then when it comes to actually saying what I've read, is not often the best overview of the book. But that's where I'm at. So I'm 3 books in. Obviously, I was 4 weeks in Feb, so I'm down a book. But I have 3 books on the go that I actually was still reading last month, so I don't know what's happened in February. I don't know where my head's been. But I've got 3 books that I would like to think I could possibly finish this week. So if I can get them 3 done, I'm back on track. And I've also then got a pile of books which people are very generously lending to me that I would also like to start getting through. So there's a wide array of reading, and I just want to be as broad in my reading as possible, and I don't want to kind of go down just one route with it, because I know for me, what I love about reading is the opportunity it opens up. When you read words on paper, it gives you the opportunity to visualize what you're reading. It's not there. It's not made for you previously. So although the words are your directive, you then have to create that image in your imagination. So that's where I am. Little bit behind, but I'm sure we can catch it up throughout March, since it's a 31-day month. I don't think that makes any difference, actually. But hope everyone's getting on great with your New Year's resolutions, and I hope to hear how you're getting on. Cheers, guys. Catch you in March.